everyone? Well, I just got off from doing like a live stream with Osiris like 10 minutes, like no more than 10 minutes ago. Actually, it was a really fun podcast. Like literally, me and him were just talking for like 2 hours. Well, most of the time, what we were doing was we were taking the political compass test, which is something like to what it is like to find out where you land on the political spectrum, whether you're left, right, whether you're right libertarian, a left libertarian, a right authoritarian, or a left authoritarian. And so me and him took the test together on his channel because this episode today was supposed to be me doing it, but since he was doing it on his show, I talked to him and me and him agreed to like do it on his show. So yeah. And it was a really fun episode. Like it was really, really fun. So I love doing it. Yeah, like I'll show you guys what I landed on the political spectrum. Give me 1 second right here. I'm bringing this up. Okay, up the political compass right here. Like literally, like me and Carlos. Yeah, not Carlos. Me and Osiris did one. We answered the questions and. This is where I landed on, where I'm just slightly on the libertarian right, which is I'm a traditional conservative. Like a traditional conservative, it was usually down like towards the very bottom, the very top of the libertarian right, to like somewhere right here along the lines of the authoritarian right. Like that's a traditional conservative, and I'm not. I don't entirely agree with it that I'm that I right here. I would say. Well, I agree that I'm right in this range, but I would say that I am a little more right than this actually says. But that aside, it is what it is. So yeah. But it was a really fun episode and to do with Osiris, and he got a lot of it, and he asked a bunch of his subscribers to come over to my channel and subscribe. And yeah, and a bunch of you have subscribed, and thank you for coming on to subscribe. Everyone who was on there, thank you for that. Yeah, okay. Metalopoly, what's up, Ray? Hopefully some more people will join the chat. Yeah, Mike, if you can share it, I would really enjoy that, man. Really enjoy that. And like, yeah, I think that Osiris got a bunch of people to subscribe to my channel. So yeah, I hope. And he said like right before we went off air. He said he was going to come and watch the chat while he was editing some of his videos and stuff like that. Hopefully he does. Yeah, I hope he does. But if he doesn't, that's fine. But yeah, but by the way, we weren't even supposed to go that long. We were only going to do like a show that was only like a half an hour maybe at most. That's what we were going to do, and it ended up being like 2 hours, which is shocking. Like because we went off the rails after we did the political compass test, like a whole yeah, which that's literally as soon as we ended that stream, like I literally started getting things ready for right here. So yeah. And thank you guys, Metalopoly and Lisa Fenwick. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel and coming over from Osiris' stream. That was a really fun stream. And like we're gonna do a whole lot more. And like Osiris and I, me and him are actually gonna start our separate YouTube channel, a separate podcast, where me and him get together like once a week or once every couple weeks and just do a podcast. Which I hope that happens soon. So yeah. And Osiris actually got me. And speaking of that, Osiris a couple days ago he had Che, who is a podcaster, a political podcaster, on his show, and he put the link to his channel, his podcast, and his social media in the description. I went over there and I talked to him, and yeah, Che and I are actually setting something up to where he's going to come on my show, which that's going to be on September 22nd, right here, and that's going to be a pretty fun thing to do. I can't wait for that to happen. So yeah, because Che seemed like a really cool guy, really cool, and I can't wait to do that show with him. So yeah. All right. Now we talked about that. Like Lisa said, I used to be slightly lower left, but have drifted. How far have you drifted? I don't recall seeing what you said specifically in Osiris's chat, but yeah. Metalopoly, I was slightly left libertarian. I was shocked. I've seen Pete. Well, Osiris was left libertarian beforehand, at the beginning stages of 2020. So kind of isn't surprising. Oh, and like something like it just came to me is like this is like a mini crossover event. Like I was on Osiris's channel and like we did it and like immediately when his stream ended, I got off his stream ended. A bunch of you guys, some of you guys came over here and doing it immediately. So this stream is continuing right off where that ended. So yeah, so yeah, let's yeah. So this is actually pretty fun, and like to all the new people here onto the channel, and thank you for coming over. Like I'm similar to Osiris talking about politics, but I also go into a little more conspiracy-like stuff at the same time. So like I get into a lot of fun stuff, like Alex Jones type of stuff, David Icke type of stuff, all kinds of stuff like that. But this episode, it's not going to be really that much. As you can tell from the title, Deshaun Watson, who is a quarterback in the NFL, like I'm going to bring the article up. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm bringing that article up. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second, please. I don't know how much you guys watch the NFL, but I watch it a whole lot. So yeah. I'm a Cowboys fan. Osiris is like a Browns fan. So I was going to ask him about this, but I just didn't get the chance to. I forgot about it. I'm sorry about that, but I'll ask him about it later on. So, so yeah. And like, here's the top. We have a few. I'm going to talk about a few things, but this is the first one, the main topic. Okay. And yeah, like abortion, I am very pro-life when it comes to that. So that is my stance on it. So yeah. 1 second. And yes, I don't like doing articles from the mainstream media, but I'm just doing it for this. And by the way, some of the topics that I have right here, because I went on Osiris' show the other day, we were going to talk about some of these, but we didn't really get a chance to talk about them just for reasons. And so I'm going to talk about them right here because this is some stuff that I'm really interested in. And so, because you'll like this. Yeah. 1 second. Okay. Okay. And we'll start reading the article. Like, as you guys know who Deshaun Watson is, the quarterback who plays for the Cleveland Browns now because he was traded from the Houston Texans. He has many allegations against him from when he was getting massages by women, and a lot of women have come forth about some things that they say he did to them and some settlements that he did with them as well. So, yeah. And you can clearly see where this is going. We're like, getting massages from women, a whole bunch of women that no one seems to be noticing. And then a lot of them start to come forward about stuff. So, yeah. Get right into it right here. The NFL will appeal Cleveland Brown quarterback Deshaun Watson's 6-game suspension because he was suspended for 6 games because the court said that was within the rules. He wasn't within the rules to be suspended for the entire year. It was within the NFL's rules for him to be suspended 6 games. So I don't like that 6 games, but the NFL already has rules, so it's on them. It's not on anyone else. So yeah. Within 6-game suspension, and will seek a tougher penalty for violating its personal conduct policy for egregious acts of sexualized contact with massage therapists, the league said Wednesday. And this is actually from earlier within the week, so obviously it's not this soon. So, yeah. The NFL said in a statement, it has notified the players' union it is appealing. It had 3 days from the ruling to appeal, the league said in the statement. Retired Judge Sue L. Robinson presided over Watson's case and issued the suspension Monday. Retired? That's interesting. Why would a retired judge rule on the case? Whatever. It's weird though. I don't understand that, but yeah. The NFL notified the NFLPA, which is the NFL Players Union, that it will appeal Judge Robinson's disciplinary decision and filed its brief this afternoon. Commissioner Roger Goodell, who I think is a terrible commissioner, by the way, Roger Goodell will determine who will hear the appeal, the league said. And so I forgot who they hired for the appeal. Who was it that they put in charge of it? I forgot who it was off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and look in a little bit. Tony Busby. Okay, this is him. An attorney representing 24 massage therapists who have accused Watson of misconduct lauded the NFL's decision to appeal Wednesday. Yeah. Bravo to the NFL. It's never too late to do the right thing, he said in a statement. Well, here's the thing, though. The NFL already set a standard of rules. They're trying to break the rules now just to get – they're going after this guy. But the NFL, they always go after their guy, no matter what. They went after Tom Brady for deflating footballs, even though there's no evidence that he actually was the one deflating them. They went after Ezekiel Elliott, which pissed me off because I'm a Cowboys fan. And as much as I can't stand Jerry Jones, because he's a terrible owner and a terrible GM, like, I actually agreed with him on something when he tried to get the NFL to try to replace Roger Goodell. But the NFL, they refused to. The other owners refused to let Jerry do that, even though Jerry had so much power. So, yeah. Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, could not immediately be reached for comment Wednesday. No one with the players' union could be reached. That's interesting. The judge ruled there was no sufficient circumstantial evidence to support the NFL's contention that Watson sought sexual conduct with several massage therapists he reached via social media. And I guarantee there were a whole lot more than that have come forth. I'm positive on that part. The quarterback knew such sexualized contact was unwanted, the judge added. But she questioned the NFL's desire to bench Watson for all of 2022. According to the NFL, if this recommended sentence is unprecedented, as characterized by Mr. Watson in the NFLPA, that is because his conduct is unprecedented, Robinson added. So, yeah. Okay. Are you just trolling us? For real, are you trolling us? Fun fact, I'm a licensed massage therapist, LOL. Yeah, bravo. Yeah, bravo. I'm curious then, has any guy actually tried to approach you when you give him massages then? For real, I'm curious though. Has any creep tried to do anything that Deshaun Watson has done? I'm actually really curious into that. I really would like to know if you would elaborate a little further. So, yeah. Oh, and Metalopoly said, no, that sounds like an interesting job, Lisa. So, yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, you get the general idea right there. Like, and Deshaun Watson played today, I believe. He did. So, yeah. He played today in the preseason for the Cleveland Browns, and you should see the footage. The fans in the stadium were booing the hell out of them. Literally, the moment he came onto the field, wait, was it today or was it yesterday? It was either today or yesterday, I forgot. Like, people were booing the hell out of them. Like, literally. And the Browns were horrible when he was on the field. Like, literally, they kept messing up all the time. But here's the thing, because it's the preseason, players get switched out. And the moment Deshaun Watson left the field, the Browns immediately got everything right and actually came back and started playing good. For real. You get that idea. Oh, okay. But guys I talk to at bars will flirt with me about it. Yeah. Like, that is something interesting then. Really interesting. So, yeah. What if they said? I'm curious what they have. Well, I'm not going to ask that. That's your personal business, but that is incredibly funny stuff. So, can't say I blame him, Lisa. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Watson is still allowed to get massages. He is allowed to, but but every time he does now, it has to be supervised by the Cleveland Browns. A representative from the Cleveland Browns, has to watch the massage the entire way through. So, yeah, you get the general idea right there. like a guy who's stupid enough to like actually like do stuff to women like that give him massages. Yeah, that's incredibly stupid right there. So yeah. Like literally, I don't know what his deal was, but yeah. If I was allowed to, I would play some of the clips from the fans booing him, but I can't because I would get a strike from the NFL. So yeah, I'm sorry about that part. So yeah. But yeah. So do I think Watson will be gone for the whole year? I don't think so. I think he'll still be gone for 6 games. I'm positive on that part. Because the thing doesn't the season starts in a few weeks, because this was the first preseason week. So the regular season doesn't start for a couple more weeks. So I don't think he'll be suspended for the year. If he does, I will be shocked. And when I mean shocked, I mean shocked for real. So yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next topic here, guys. Like that was something pretty fun right there. So I'm staying on the topic of sports and noting something that Osiris said. He went on vacation with his family to Minnesota. They also stopped in South Dakota and went to Mt Rushmore. And this ties into some of the sports here. As you guys know who Jalen Rose is. He is a commentator. And when I mean a commentator, he's a former basketball player who's a turned commentator. And as you guys don't know, Kobe Bryant dropped 81 points on this dude. I'm just letting you know that right off the top. So you guys get an idea of who he is. He said Mount Rushmore was brought up to him, and he commented on it. And this is what he said. This is in an article from Breitbart. ESPN's Jalen Rose stopped saying Mount Rushmore. It's offensive. Really? Is Mount Rushmore really offensive? That is incredibly stupid. Mount Rushmore celebrates presidents of the past. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. These are some of the greatest presidents we've ever had. And they're trashing them. And I know it's pretty obvious why, because like Mount Rushmore was built on Native American tribal land. The history gets complicated. It goes back who truly owns the land, who truly doesn't. Is it legal for the people to be on the land? There's so much things you could talk about on that. So much. And it gets into a whole lot of it goes down a rabbit hole right here. So yeah. Let's go into this right here. ESPN analyst and former NBA player Jalen Rose, like I said, Kobe Bryant dropped 81 points on him, which is one of my favorite games of all time, has launched a new campaign to cancel Mr. Rushmore because he says the name of offensive to all Americans. All Americans? I thought he was talking about Native Americans. So he probably changed his stance. So who knows what happened. So yeah. Rose posted a video to social media insisting that the Washington Redskins, and guess what? They're not the Washington Commanders to me. They're the Washington Redskins. And guess what? When they became the Washington football team, I still call them the Redskins. And I'm a Cowboy fan. And guess what? I still call the Cleveland Indians the Cleveland Indians. I do not call them the Cleveland Guardians. That is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. And by the way, the fact that they're called the Washington Commanders now, it kind of almost makes me wish they just stay the Washington football team instead of becoming the Washington Commanders. Because the Washington Commanders is so cliche, boring, predictable. Like it's one of those stupid names. Like it has no interest to it. It doesn't gravitate anyone to the name or to the game or whatever. So and plus it's a little funny. It has a little funny charm to it that it was called the Washington football team. Yeah. They should have stayed. They're still the Washington Redskins to me, and I will always call them the Washington Redskins. And no one will change my mind on that. And so, yeah. Let's hear this right now. Rose posted a video to social media insisting that the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians dumped their Native American names in imaginary because it was offensive. It is not offensive. I would like to, if you do your research, you would know that the vast majority of Native Americans, when you ask them about, is the name Redskin offensive, or is the name Indian offensive, almost all of them say, no, it's not offensive whatsoever. As a matter of fact, a lot of them like that those names are there because it gives them representation. And by the way, doesn't the left want representation all the time? Literally, they should actually be applauding that they have those names in there. They should be, but they're not, because which makes no sense. So, yeah. That's incredibly weird stuff right there. So, yeah. He then said he has a new piece of U.S. history he believes should be canceled: Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I truly would like to hear an actual opinion on it. So, yeah. I want to continue to challenge myself and to challenge you to do something, Rose said in his Twitter video. Can we retire using Mount Rushmore? And he's referring to using that in the sports analogy. Like, if you know, in like the NFL or the NBA or baseball or whatever, when people say Mount Rushmore, they're talking about the 4 greatest players of the NFL or the NBA or baseball or something like that, or some at the position. But usually it's used for the greatest players of all time, usually for the NBA in particular. Like people always you always have Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem. Well, I don't have Kareem in my opinion. I have Wilt, so yeah. But that aside, people use that phrase, and I've never heard one person. I have never heard one single person ever say that was offensive. This is the first time I'm ever hearing that. So, yeah, let's get right into this. That should be offensive to all of us, especially Native Americans, Rose exclaimed. Why to everyone? That part makes no sense whatsoever. Let's go into the video right here. I want to see the video first.
Why do you think Washington changed their name from Redskins? I do a show and didn't say that word for 8 years. And my co-host David Jacoby, we both said they're going to change the name one day. Why? Because it's offensive. What about the Cleveland Indians? Same thing. Why did they change the name? Because it's offensive. So I want to continue to challenge myself and to challenge you to do something. Can we retire using Mount Rushmore? That should be offensive to all of us, especially Native Americans, indigenous people, who were the first people here before Christopher Columbus. Land was stolen from them when it was discovered that it contained.
That land was not. Well, here's the thing, though. If you're talking about the land that was stolen from them, is he aware that all land in all of history has been stolen from someone? Literally, every part of the world has been owned by someone else at one time. And people have been, from the beginning of history, have come in and stole land from other people. That's just how it is. That's been what it is since the beginning of history. And will continue to be till the end of history as well.
Gold. And 25 years later, to add insult to injury, 4 American presidents were put on what we call Mount Rushmore on the top of the dead bodies that is buried right underneath. So I call for you and for myself, I'm owning this too. Let's stop using the term Mount Rushmore when we're talking about our favorite rappers, talking about our favorite movies, we're talking about our favorite players. I know you're going to see this video.
Oh my God.
I know you're going to take action.
So, yeah, you guys get that idea. That's incredibly pathetic. I've been reading through you guys' comments right here, and it's actually a really good conversation going on. I didn't know that part. They removed the Native American girl from the Land O'Lakes logo. I didn't know that part. That's news to me. So, yeah, it is sad to see that girl gone. So, yeah. The irony of keeping her land is zero self-awareness. So, yeah. Like, here's the thing, though. Land has been all land in all of his at one point in time was owned by someone else. That's just a fact. It's not. I'm not lying. That's just how it is. So yeah. But like you said, though, in the comments section, that they're like, why would he be upset about this? Well, here's the thing about leftists. They always try to find something. They are never satisfied. They always try to find something to complain about. That's literally what their goal is. If they have nothing to complain about, they are nothing. And when I mean nothing, I truly mean nothing. They have nothing in life. They have no friends. They have nothing like that. So, yeah. Let's get back to reading this article because this is really interesting stuff right here. Well, before that, I'm getting a drink because, yeah. The indigenous people who were the first people here before Christopher Columbus, their land was stolen from them when it was discovered that it contained gold, Rose confirmed. Guess what? All Native American tribes have stolen land from other Native American tribes too. Yeah, you can look that up if you want to. And 25 years later, to add insult to injury, 4 American presidents were put on what we call Mt Rushmore, on the top of the dead bodies that is buried right underneath, he added. Guess what? Guess what? We're paying respect to our history. Guess what? Presidents are part of our history. So, yeah, and these 4, Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Lincoln, they are some of the greatest presidents we have ever had. And we are honoring them by having them be on Mount Rushmore. Yeah. So I call for you and myself. I'm in on this too. Let's stop using the term Mount Rushmore. He concluded, when we talking about our favorite rappers, talking about our favorite movies, we talking about our favorite players. I know you're going to see this video, and I know you got to take action, he said. How are you going to take action? I guess he's trying to say, like, oh, to stop saying the name Mount Rushmore. You idiot. How are you going to make people stop saying that? For real. Guess what? I still use it, and I will continue to use the phrase Mount Rushmore. And I will. That's just how it is. Because guess what? I love my country. Just how it is. It was unclear if Rose was speaking metaphorically about the faces of the 4 presidents carved on top of the dead bodies of Native Americans, or if he mistakenly thinks Mount Rushmore is some sort of a burial ground, but no one is buried on the mountain or immediately below the carvings. True fact. That's a fact, if you didn't know that. Indeed, the mountain originally called Tunkaskila Skapaya, or Six Grandfathers Mountain, by the Lakota tribe, was used as a sort of church where they went to pray to the gods, not as a burial ground. That's an interesting fact, if you didn't about that. But after gold was discovered in the Black Hills, the mountain was annexed by the U.S. government in 1877, and in 1884, New York Attorney Charles Rushmore staked in 10 mine near the mountain. It was then renamed in his honor. Then, by 1924, grand plans started being made to carve the faces of several American presidents into its edifice. I'm sorry, I'm botching that word. The work which did not begin until 1938. Finally, the work was declared finished on October 31st, 1941, with the visages of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln staring out over the landscape. Jalen Rose thought, though, has decided to erase it all. Guess what? You're trying to erase history, buddy. So, yeah. So, here's the thing. This is incredibly stupid when you look at it. It's still part of our history. It's still part of our culture. Why you want to get rid of it? Everyone, like Mount Rushmore, especially when it comes to basketball, when you put, like, you have all the great players. When you say great, whenever anyone goes to great players and comes to the NBA, they always say Mount Rushmore. They always put some of the greatest players of all time on there. And it's a tradition. Why should we get rid of these traditions? So guess what next? Are you going to start banning the word? What you want ESPN to ban the word Rushmore from their sites or shows? For all you know, they may do that now. Who knows? Because like they literally cave to the stupidest things you can imagine. That's just how it is. So yeah, you see where this is going right here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to move on to the last topic I have for you guys here today. This is staying on the sports thing. Guess what? I love sports, and going right into this. This ties back into the NFL. Osiris and I touched on it a little bit a few days ago when I went on his show. And I'll show you what it is. Like, we only talked about it for like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. It went on to a different conversation. I mean, aren't there still statues, pyramids, etc., in honor of Native American warlords who killed tons of people? There are. There are plenty of them still around. And to this day, like, there were even statues of some tribes who were actually involved in cannibalism. Yeah, Osiris and I talked about that about an hour or so ago when I was on his show, just earlier today. So, yeah. This is something interesting right here. As I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, guys. I can't stand the Packers. And like I said, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. But here's the thing. Even though I can't stand the Packers, I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. And last season, maybe an even bigger fan of Aaron Rodgers with something about something with the letter V in it, some stance he took on something with the letter V. The stance he took on it made me a huge fan of him. Huge fan of him. Because he was willing to stick up for what he truly believed in. Truly believed in. So, yeah. And let's go into the article. Aaron Rodgers says psychedelic drugs led to best season of my career. As you guys know, he's friends with Joe Rogan because he got advice on something with the letter V from Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, as you guys know, does psychedelics all the time. Like, he does particularly the ayahuasca. And that's what Aaron Rodgers took. He said that, and he said that. And he says that it led to the best season of his career. So let's go read right into this, because this is some really, really cool stuff here, right here. Aaron Rodgers revealed his past use of psychedelic drugs not only helped improve his mental health, and by the way, improving mental health is the best thing you can do, but ultimately led him to the best season of his NFL career. Yeah, this is some pretty interesting stuff. I believe psychedelics is the key to the universe, and it can help not only your mental health, but also help you to understand yourself better. Like, literally, you can learn more about yourself through psychedelics than you can ever in just your regular time. You truly can. Appearing on the Aubrey Marcus podcast, the Green Bay Packers quarterback of 38 said ayahuasca, a psychoactive tea containing the holy hallucinogenic drug DMT, helped him unconditionally love myself. Yeah, not surprisingly, because that can actually truly, you could find stuff within yourself that you didn't even know about by using ayahuasca. To me, one of the core tenets of your mental health is that self-love. Rodgers told host Aubrey Marcus, "That's what ayahuasca did for me, was help me see how to unconditionally love myself." Yeah, it's only that unconditional self-love that then I'm able to truly be able to unconditionally love others. And by the way, you can't love others until you love yourself. Truly love others until you truly love yourself. That is true. And what better way to do that on my mental health than to have an experience like that? I really would like to know more about that experience, because I actually want to do psychedelics someday in the future. I actually would be interested in that. So, yeah, or at least try it. The drug has been used for thousands of years as a traditional healing method in Central and South America. All right, let's go watch this video right here when he's talking about it. That's 2 hours, so there's no way I could get through all of that. Unless I can find. Let me see if I can find. Okay, there's no way I can find it right there. There's no way. So, yeah, you guys can go check it out yourself when you can. But this really interesting stuff here. Oh. The league reigning MVP has spoken out in recent years about his renewed passion for life in the game. All in all, Rodgers said ayahuasca, which is a psychedelic drug, impacted his life in more ways than he could have ever imagined. I laid there afterward on my mat and then opened my eyes, and it felt like I was opening my eyes for the first time, he recalled. Because, like, ayahuasca, like, when you do have a DMT trip, it's so unreal that you can't explain it at all. It makes no sense whatsoever. I really feel like that experience paved the way for me to have the best season of my career. The former Super Bowl champ also noticed a striking difference in his relationship with the Packers since taking the plant-based psychedelic. Like, there was a time beforehand where it looked like Rodgers was going to be done in Green Bay. It literally looked like that for a long time. Then all of a sudden, he signed an extension with them. So I think the psychedelics, the ayahuasca, actually helped regain his, improve his relationship with his team and with the love of the game. So yeah, the greatest gift I can give my teammates, in my opinion, is to be able to show up and be someone who can model unconditional love to them. The 4-time NFL MVP continued. They won't care about what you say until they know how much you care. That is 100%. They truly don't care about how whatever you about that. They truly don't. Like, you have to, if you don't care for someone else, you can't expect someone to care for you. You truly can't. That's just the way I take it. You can take it however you want, but that's just me. Rodgers' honest interview caught his rumored girlfriend's attention. Who praised the quarterback for changing history and forging the future. Who was first linked to Rodgers earlier this summer, said on his podcast, "Changing history and forging the future, one courageous truth at a time. Legacy moves." Like, this is really, really, really cool stuff right here. Like, the ayahuasca, like, it's amazing what, from all the research I've done into ayahuasca, the benefits are phenomenal. Like, truly phenomenal. Like, it's some of the best thing you can do in your life. Like, not only improve your mental health, but also help you focus to better your life. Like, all of that. If psychedelics, to me, like I said beforehand, I believe psychedelics are like the key to the universe. Like, I believe, like, the government, like, I think it's pretty obvious that government is investing, like, using DMT and other forms of psychedelics to discover the secrets of the universe. And like, they experiment with DMT. Like, it's incredibly, like, Alex Jones even talked about this one time where, I don't remember if it was DMT per se, but it was a psychiatric drug or something like that, where, like, where in San Francisco, a lot of people were given this on some resort, forgot where it is, somewhere in the middle of the woods. And then all of a sudden they see all these beings come out of the woods, and, like, they're all seeing the exact same thing and describing the same thing. So yeah, was it truly just an illusion, or was they opening a door to something else? I'll leave that open for you guys to decide on that. But yeah, it's incredibly, incredibly weird stuff. I saw a documentary about DMT, but can't remember the name. It was used to relieve mental disorders. Yeah, like, I could really use that because I have my own little mental things too. So yeah, I could really use some of it. Yeah. You should read Breaking Open the Head by Daniel Pinchbeck. I don't recall who that guy is. If you find that interesting, so I'll go take a look at that sometime when I can. So yeah. Pot and shrooms only, all natural for me. Good one, buddy. So yeah, like I said in Osiris's show, almost everyone has done some sort of psychiatric, has done marijuana at least one point in their life. And Osiris said he hasn't. I find that part hard to believe. I truly, truly find that part. So, but I haven't done ayahuasca. Yeah, maybe you should try that sometime. I don't know. I think you should probably. So yeah. I heard it's supposed to help people with PSD. Yeah, I heard that it helps a lot. It relieves stress. It can actually treat some certain disorders and something like that, and it can actually really benefit your life. So yeah. I've done LSD in shrooms. Yep, Joe Rogan has too. It affects everyone differently. Like, so if there are effects that can be good and can be bad depending on how you look at the situation, but yeah, drugs are bad. Well, that depends on what you define as a drug. So yeah, okay. Wonder why the Jews don't demand don't demand Egypt dismantle the pyramids. Weren't they built using? I'm not going to comment on that because I don't want my show getting in trouble. So yeah. This world would be shit without America and the American Revolution. Let's be honest. That is 100% true. If it wasn't for America, this country would be in the gutter. Like, literally, where would this country be? Like this is really, really weird stuff right here. So, yeah. Wait, what is that? Okay. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Thought I'd still double in the weeds, so yeah, it's not that easy to find. Ayahuasca is not that easy to find. I won't. You should probably ask Joe Rogan about that because he knows where to get it. So he does it. Yeah, particularly go to California because that's pretty much the only place I know of off the top of my head where ayahuasca is legal. So yeah, I haven't done it, but who knows in the future? Who really knows? So yeah. Give me 1 second. And speaking of ayahuasca, I'm gonna try to find this right here. So yeah, Joe Rogan, Blair White. I'm a huge Blair White fan. So yeah, he did a podcast with her and talked about DMT and stuff like that. So I'm gonna bring this up right here. So where he talked about. I talked about part of this with Osiris on his show a couple days ago, but I want to go more into it because there were a lot of things we didn't get.
I got it.
There were a lot of things we didn't get a chance to talk to at that time. So yeah, let's watch right here. Yeah, just watch.
I know not to you, but
too.
A lot of people have a shared physical description of what these things look like.
One of my most profound experiences, there was a bunch of court jesters give me the.
This part's funny as hell right here. Just watch. You're gonna laugh your asses off.
One of my most profound experiences, there was a bunch of court jesters give me the finger.
Just flipping you off.
They're like,
yeah.
Fuck you. Like, openly mocking me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Killing your ego.
I realized I take myself too seriously. Like, as they were doing it, I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And they went like this.
Like, chill out.
Yep, chill out.
I got it. Like, while they were doing it, I was like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
That's the thing is a common experience, people who meet the elves or the jesters, whatever you want to call them, they have something to teach you.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of similar to learning not to take.
Literally, I believe that the elves or court jesters, whatever you want to call them, there's some interdimensional being, whether whether they're from heaven or hell or something else, and entirely beside the point. There's something from another dimension, reality. And they know a lot of secrets to the secrets to the universe. So I think all of us could learn something from them.
Myself seriously, but it was more so don't take life so fucking seriously.
Right.
Trust the process of life, because I'm someone who, even though I like to think I have my life pretty together, I still worry about everything so much all the time. I'm always stressed out. And the elf was telling me, does everything have to be a fight, Blair? Is everything a war? Are you worried about everything?
I have that own little issue myself. I'm an incredibly serious person, and I take everything seriously. So I probably would need to learn to chill out myself. So, yeah.
Kind of clowning me a little bit, literally kind of clownish. Really, is everything that serious?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll just chill out.
Yeah.
It was that simple. I was like, okay, I'll chill.
Yeah.
It's good that you can grasp that and have that experience and learn from it, because a lot of people can't, and that's when they have bad trips.
Yeah.
Because they try to fight it and they try to resist. No, I'm not fighting anything, and then all of a sudden you're in this fucking death spiral.
That was my mistake with shrooms. I did shrooms about a year ago.
This part is interesting, what Blair goes into, so you're going to want to pay close attention to this part.
It was actually when I was evacuating LA because of the riots. Went up with some friends in the mountains. Let's do shrooms. And it was my first time doing it. And the person who was supplying said shrooms basically gave me a huge plate like this big, stacked it, covered it in shrooms, and said, eat all of them, which is very irresponsible for someone's first
grams?
time. I don't know. I just know it was a plate covered in shrooms.
Show me the size of the plate. Give me an
example. Here's something interesting. You brought up a point. You brought up something. I hear you on the Jesus weed trip. LOL. So I'm not religious. I believe in God and in the Bible and stuff like that. So here's a theory I heard. I told Osiris this like a couple days ago when I went on a show a couple days ago. Me and him talked about this. Like, this is a theory I heard, and like I didn't know what his theory was so much. This is just what I said. There's a theory out there about Moses in the burning bush. As you guys know, if you know the story about Moses in the burning bush, what happened was there was a bush burning, and Moses communicated through God, whether he was looking at it or something close to it. That's kind of what it was. And there's a theory out there that what it was, the burning bush was the acacia tree, which was rich with THC, which is the ingredient that gets someone high. So that's pretty much what it kind of is. And so that the theory that they came up with was that it was the acacia tree and it was set on fire, and it actually got Moses high and allowed him to talk to God through like this. So I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I don't know if I do or do not. Like, I would have to do more research into that, because like I haven't seen anything to suggest that was it. But with them trying to look, but the people who came up with that's an interesting point. So I can't just credit them like that all of a sudden like that, because I have no proof or evidence. Like, I haven't done research on that really. I just heard about it. So could be true, could not be. I don't know. I believe in God and the Bible, but I don't know 100% if that part of there is true. So yeah.
Example. Oh my God! So this is
it was like a dinner plate.
Like when you go to like Ruth's Chris and have a steak.
Yes, but it was shrooms.
Yeah.
And I have never done shrooms in my life. I had no, because until you do a psychedelic, you have no concept of psychedelic.
Right.
Like, weed isn't anything close to it, not even the same planet. So I ate all of it. We walked down to the water, and then the whole world changed. But the difference between shrooms and DMT is, like, to me, with shrooms, you're still on Earth, even though Earth's heavily distorted. And
that's because you have your eyes open and you're walking around.
That's true. Yeah. DMT, you leave Earth.
If you were in silent darkness, if you were alone by yourself in the dark and you were laying down on mushrooms and you just closed your eyes, it'd be very similar.
Oh, okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah. We were walking around, and there's something about doing it. Like, we were in this neighborhood in Big Bear with all these like cabins, and like I started getting so freaked out that everyone was just watching from their houses. And it was me and 5
paranoid
people.
As hell.
And so we were all tripping, walking back to the cabin from the water, holding hands, and walking slowly.
Wow.
And I was like, are people looking?
They probably are. Look at these freaks holding hands.
No, yeah,
a lot of people probably were.
And we were all like social media people or whatever. We were like, people are gonna film this. It's gonna be on YouTube tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been ashamed.
It's not the best idea to do that publicly. A lot of people wind up doing that. They do it publicly and they trip balls and they walk around.
Or to eat a whole fucking plate.
Yeah.
I had one little shroom.
Yeah.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
A good way to start is like one, and you get like a little feeling.
And speaking of something small, like you get to like edibles, marijuana products, edible marijuana products. Like a story I heard about, I believe Joe even talked about a similar story, where like a guy ate a whole brownie that was laced with marijuana, a marijuana edible, a brownie. And like literally said that he was high for days, and literally he had suicidal thoughts of when he was still high. For literally, like, he was high for days and had suicidal thoughts. And this guy wasn't like literally like an old fat person out of shape. No, it was a guy who was in great shape, and he was high for days and had suicidal thoughts. Like, yeah, that it gets to, like, when it comes to edibles, I suggest you work your way up slowly. Like, start with marijuana first. Then when you get to like the edibles, like take a small bite of it. Don't eat the whole thing. Just like a pinch, and then slowly work your way up to it. So yeah.
And maybe like a gram, nothing crazy. Yeah. Before you want to get into like the 3 to 5 gram, like yikes.
I think it's also very important to do it when you're maybe in a good place in life. Like I
Probably.
would never want to do it if I was in a bad place. Like when I did shrooms, half of my trip was really, really scary and really bad because I was in a bad mindset. Like LA was on fire. I was escaping. I felt unsure about the world. Right before we tripped, it was like a news report, like Trump going into a bunker as protesters ascend upon the White House, and I was like, let me escape this. I don't think it's good to use it like as escapism. Shrooms.
Did Trump have to go to a bunker? Is that real?
I think I think he denied it after that, but I remember in DC when it was the riots happening, and I think they moved Trump to a safe place. I'm sure he would deny it. But
I don't know for a fact if he did,
when
but
I did
think
DMT,
he did.
I did it very recently, and I'm in like one of the best places of my life recently. Like I'm in a new city that I'm actually really enjoying, even though it was a tough transition at first. Been through a couple things.
Escaping LA.
Happy, so I wasn't escaping anything. I was like, teach me what you have to teach me.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the second time I went even farther. But
it's very bizarre that it's so there. It's so easy to get to. It's just 15 seconds away. It's one of the most insane experiences that a human being could possibly encounter.
Yeah.
It's if there was a thing that you could like a ride at Disneyland, it would be a mile long line to get into that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody would be like, oh, I want to go on that ride.
Right.
Because it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And just the fact that I don't know. So I had a lot of
That's funny,
Metalopoly. Trying psychedelics for a while because I did grow up in a household where everyone was addicted to drugs, and my brother was in prison for selling drugs and heroin and all that kind of shit, right? So I was like, I'm never gonna do drugs. But then like
everyone will do
drugs.
I
just see psychedelics a bit different. It's not meth. It's not
any
of that
it's not.
Shit.
Not even close to it.
They are very, very, very different.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, and like it's really hard to even articulate what the trip is with DMT specifically without ever doing it. So like people were telling me about the elves, and I was like, y'all are crackheads. To me.
Yeah.
The problem with the term drug is it's a blanket term that you could use for caffeine.
Use
for nicotine, use for
chocolate.
alcohol.
True.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of
100% true.
Yeah.
Adrenaline's a drug.
And while I'm sure it's possible, I can't imagine after now doing DMT twice, I can't imagine someone becoming like addicted to it.
This part right here, listen to what Joe says. This is really, really interesting right here.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I know a guy who was a tattoo artist that was doing DMT every fucking day, multiple times a day. And then finally the entities had to sit him down and go, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Stop. Like you're going to lose your grip on this world. Yeah. They literally told him to stop doing it, he said.
Yeah.
See, it's such an intense experience for me.
Imagine you do DMT so many times that the beans actually make sit you down and tell you to stop doing it. So and I've heard a few other stories about like the entities or the beings. They tell people, hey, you've done this so many times, you should settle down for a bit, or you don't need to come back to doing this. So
that I couldn't imagine wanting that every day. It's kind of like I did it and I'm good for a while.
This guy's an intense guy.
That's fucking nuts.
He's a wild dude. He's an artist who does biomech tattoos. Yeah. You know that biomech type of art? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Biomech. See if you can Google like biomech art. My buddy has a sleeve done by this dude. His art's incredible.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
But his is more like that, exactly like that. Yeah. So it's like almost like Alien.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. That's a certain style of tattooing called biomech. And this dude was he is still elite at it.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to specialize in, that type of tattoo.
Yeah, that's a little different. That's not quite, that's more like it. That kind of, it's all this weird sort of alien looking fucking trippy shit.
I would imagine you have.
I watch Joe every day. Well, almost every day. I watch his podcast all the time, really. Yeah, I think I've seen that episode before where it's incredibly scary stuff at the end of the day when you look at it. Really, really scary. So, yeah. Let's finish this video right here. So, yeah.
Have to be an intense guy to even know how to do that. So,
yeah. Well, it's also to specialize in that one particular style of art. It's like his vision of life was like all fucked up and distorted and twisted.
Yeah.
One of the people I did DMT with wasn't told to like not do DMT anymore by the elves, but was told like, you don't have to come back anymore, almost in a
Yeah.
gentle way. Like we came out of our trips, and the friend was like, they told me I don't have to come back anymore. I'm like, how many times have you done it? He's like 9. I'm like,
wow,
maybe take a break then.
Yeah,
I've done it 9. I've done it more than 9.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I haven't done it in a couple of years though, so maybe I could get back in there and have a conversation.
Yeah, should.
Like I said, the last time that I did it was probably the most intense and the most weird, because when they were giving me the finger, but it was like, I've never like.
He probably should have done it right when he got to Texas, when we moved to Texas, because I think that would have been a really, really interesting conversation with them. So, yeah, Joe probably could have learned a whole lot by doing that.
But it's just, I think sometimes what people do, and what I've certainly done, is you protect yourself from criticism, or you protect yourself from your own analysis of your correct and incorrect thoughts and actions by bullshitting yourself. And one of the ways that you realize if you're bullshitting yourself is like, how do you react to satire? How do you react to being mocked? How do you react to people not taking you seriously? Do you go, that's their prerogative, good luck?
Yeah.
Or do you go, fuck them, I'm gonna fucking make a response video? The aliens, or the whatever they were, the jesters, and they all had the little bells.
There's no aliens. There are no aliens. Like alien stuff, like I've told Osiris, aliens are counterintelligence. It's the aliens is the idea that you aren't special because there's something out there that is exactly like you, does the exact same stuff as you, and you're not special. So yeah.
The little hats with the
it's
bells.
so crazy. They look like little courtyard.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
But they were going like this, fuck you, and they were like
hilarious.
Openly mocking me. And my initial response was, hey.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh no,
Oh.
like, that's it. You got it. I was like,
They're
all
kind
right,
of sarcastic.
Oh yeah. Well, they know your bullshit. They
Yeah.
know all of your nonsense. They know all of your thoughts. They know, I mean, whatever the fuck they are, whether they're a part of your consciousness or whether these are intelligent entities in another dimension that you're interacting with.
What do you guys think the elves or court jesters are? I'm really curious to know what you guys think they are. Because to me, what I think they are is like, I truly, truly believe that they are interdimensional beings from another dimension. That's just my opinion. I actually would like to hear what you guys think of it.
See, that is what I've been questioning since doing this. So I was told by a friend who's done DMT a lot that after you do DMT, pay attention to the real world. And if you believe that the elves are real beings that are independent of something created in your own brain due to the DMT, they'll like send you a sign, right? And I was like, again, crackhead shit. No, I'm not going to meet the elves in real life, right?
No.
So one of the things in my first trip that they kept telling me was, this is not the end. This is not the end. They kept telling me that because I think I was asking them, like, is this what happens when you die? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
They said the phrase, this is not the end, multiple times. Directly after the trip, we go to a restaurant. And
that's why I believe that they're from another dimension. It's not the end of when you die. Like it could be something similar to that when you die, but it's not the exact end when you die. Like I think that proves that they're interdimensional beings. But that's just me.
And I wasn't liking the energy. Like there's like a glow after you do DMT that you kind of want to maintain. And I didn't like the energy in the first restaurant. So I was like, let's leave. Went to another restaurant.
What was wrong with the energy?
The people were just weird. I don't know. It's like you create like a bubble when you do it with like friends and you're like, I don't like what they might do to our bubble. So then we go to another restaurant and there's a huge sign that just says, this is not the end on the thing. And I'm like, what? And then I looked at my friend who told me to look for signs and he's like, told ya.
Yep.
So I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying that I think that they really are beings. I'm going back.
They are real. I think they truly are. Like even Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, he came back to boxing a year or two ago. And he went on Joe's podcast about a month or so ago, and he said the reason he came back to boxing was because he started boxing again was because he did some psychedelics and the DMT toad. He saw the DMT toad, and he said that the DMT toad told him to start boxing again, and so that's why he got back into boxing. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff right here. Oh, I don't believe in aliens or multi-dimensional beings at all. I think it's just demons trying to fool people. The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing people that he doesn't exist. Well, Well, like I think like demons and like hell and heaven are technically other dimensions, really, in a lot of ways. Like I believe that there are other realities and other dimensions out there. Like I believe there's heaven and hell, and there's like another spirit dimension below it, and then all around those there are other infinite realities and dimensions all around it. And so, like, yeah, I like could these things be evil? It's quite possible. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff at the end of the day. I actually would like to know a whole lot more. Like here's like I said beforehand, like there are no aliens out there, obviously. Like I even told Osiris this, like aliens are counterintelligence because like Aleister Crowley, who was a guy who was a Luciferian, who was was part of the Committee of 300, which you should look the Committee of 300 up, but he wrote a book in 1917, which was like almost 30 years before the Betty and Barney Hill story wrote. And in the book, he mentions that he conjured up a demon. And he actually had a drawing of the demon be drawn out. And if you look at that photo image really closely, you would that looks almost exactly like a gray alien. Like what you think of a gray alien. Let me bring that photo up before I end the stream right here. Mr. Crawley. Mr. Crawley. Demon. Draw. Let me see if this is the right one right here. Right here. Well, you guys can see it right here. This is that drawing of the demon that he said he conjured up in the book he wrote. Look at that. Oh, this one's better. That looks. Look at this next to this typical gray alien that we know, what we all think of as aliens. It looks almost exactly like it. And this was like 30 or so years before the Betty and Barney Hill story wrote. So I think that these great alien-like things with their what we think of are aliens, I think they are demons to me. That's what I believe. That there's infinite numbers of demons, like I don't know if these are the typical demons like we think of, like where it has horns and stuff like that. Maybe these are just a different type of demons that worship Satan. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know for a fact, but it could be it. That's just the theory I have. I mean, I think there are multiple types of demons that out there. There are a bunch of them. So I think this is just a different brand of demons like that. Like it's really interesting stuff right at the end of the day. So yeah. Right there. Okay. There's a graphic novel called Creature Tech. On the alien planet, there was an alien nailed to an X, which then asked about it. The alien said, "Truth is truth." Very interesting take. That is interesting. I might have to look that up. I might have to. So, yeah. All right, guys. Like it's 3 a.m. where I'm at. I don't know what time it is where you guys are, and I've been doing. And I started doing a show with Osiris' show at around 11:30 or something like that, and it lasted for 2 hours. Then immediately came to my show. So I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta do some editing. Then I gotta get to bed. So yeah, thank you guys for coming over, and thank you Osiris for sending subscribers over to subscribe to my channel, and I thank you guys for subscribing to my channel too. Like this has been really, really interesting stuff, a great conversation. This has been like a mini crossover continuation from Osiris' show. So yeah, thanks for coming here, guys. All right, everyone. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications and share this channel so we can beat the YouTube algorithm. Because my channel is shadow banned, and I need to break the YouTube algorithm so my channel can grow. Because I cannot stand this being shadow banned. Also, subscribe and follow me on Rumble. Like that this video on Rumble as well. Also, follow me on all the other social media platforms as well, because like I am on pretty much all of them. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Ray Infinity Show, episode number 57. I'm your host, Ray. Catch you guys later.